Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Collision. It's usually the better show for me. We did start off with a bounty hunter, Brian Keith, versus our boy Eddie Kingston. This was a really great matchup. Now, the titles were not on the line. I'm not sure if this was a proving grounds match either, but it's been a little bit since we've seen Brian in a AEW ring. He's been in Japan for, I don't know, I would say like over a week or so, but they have a really great match. Now, while I do enjoy Eddie Kingston, lately he's just been looking tired to me, and that kind of bothers me because it feels like, well, if you're just too tired to be in the ring, you shouldn't be in the ring at all, or just give up them titles, especially the Ring of Honor World title. I really feel like this should not be part of the Triple Crown, Continental, whatever bullshit they're calling it. At some point, I think Tony Khan's going to realize they need this title around on Ring of Honor, and that they really can't do any stories when you got their champion running around from here and there, go to that promotion, that show, whatever. There's just too much going on for whoever got those titles. Anyway, Eddie Kingston is definitely underestimating Brian Keith here. Brian Keith just has this spirit of no matter what you do, you're not going to keep me down. And I really, really do enjoy that, which made for a really competitive matchup between the two of them. However, they're not going to let Eddie Kingston lose this. Now, Brian Keith does takes the win here. And then we have Tony Schiavone, who goes to talk to Eddie Kingston. And Eddie Kingston don't want to talk on a microphone. He's like, bitch, get that thing away from my face. I just had a match. I'm tired. I'm over it. Now, Tony Schiavone does go over to Brian Keith and announce that Brian Keith is officially All Elite. And you can see I'm willing to bet that he had no clue about this until that very moment that he had been signed to AEW. He was just so emotional, looking like he was trying to hold back the tears, but you can see he was about to cry. Eddie Kingston goes over there and hugs him, and it's just like a really feel-good moment. And they're in Texas too. That's another thing. This crowd was absolutely on fucking fire and made the show feel so much better, because obviously crowd participation, it matters in pro wrestling. And this crowd, they're in I think it's like a border town of Mexico or whatnot. So they're like super, super deep into Texas, right before you get into Mexico. And they look like they probably have not gotten any shows over there. So they were definitely loud and just the way you want to hear a wrestling crowd. And like I said, Brian Keith is from Texas. So, you know, that Texas love was definitely in the building. They showed the graphic of Brian Keith being All Elite. And I just thought, wow, that is just the coolest thing ever. He's definitely worked hard in the independents, and he's definitely worked hard in AEW these past few months to be able to earn that. So I was really happy that no other promotions were able to snatch him up, because he's definitely one of those people that you're going to want to have on your roster. Now, right after this, here's our boy, Bryan Danielson, who comes out from the back. His music hits or whatnot. And he walks past Eddie Kingston once again as if Eddie Kingston has never existed. And he goes over and he raises Brian Keith's hands, you know, celebrating with him for being All Elite. And I am just like, what? Now look, Brian has this pettiness about him that I absolutely enjoy. However, it's really bothering Eddie Kingston. Like, he's not going to say it, but you can see in his face it's bothering him. And I am just like, holy shit. Just pretending someone doesn't exist is amazing. I wish my ex would just do the same. Up next, we had Bryan Danielson versus Hechicero. And before we got that, we did have a promo from Moxley from Dynamite, where after he got attacked by the members from CMLL, he obviously was upset about it. He had a lot to say, and I was like, all right, AEW, this is running like 3 minutes or whatever, and I got a match to watch, so let's like wrap this shit up. Now, I love Jon Moxley, and I feel like they're just, for a short storyline, yes, them attacking Moxley after Moxley's match was the way to go, so that it didn't feel weird when we see BCC versus the three guys from CMLL. So I knew that, that's okay for something short term. But I mean, I'm loving what we're seeing from these guys on AEW regardless. So we do have Bryan and Hechicero in the ring. And I know a lot of people's looking at him and they're just like, okay, he got a luchador mask on, so he's just going to give us some flips and shit. And really, I'm not gonna lie, I was blown away with how technical he is in the ring, where I'm just saying, like, even Bryan Danielson definitely has underestimate him. No matter what Bryan can do, he can do the same thing too. And I was pretty amazed. Now, we did see Hechicero in the that 8-man tag match that they had on Rampage, and I was feeling impressed there too. But seeing him in the ring with Bryan Danielson and seeing what he can really do, I think was more impressive to me, where we really got a chance to see who he really is. And I was just like, whoa, Bryan, for the first time, my eyes is off of you in the match and onto someone else. And I want to see him again in AEW. I mean, like, from time to time, bring these guys over. They're really, really great. And we got to see, new matchups and storylines with them. Now, this was a really great match, and the crowd was feeling it. Definitely best match of the night. I can't say anything else where I can just be like, whoa, these two guys have really great chemistry. Their styles are actually pretty similar, which may surprise people. So if you did not see this match, go ahead and check this out. He is someone that, hey, if his time is over in CMLL, AEW got to snatch this guy up. He is definitely worth it, just from what I've only seen him do in 2 matches. So I did try looking him up on YouTube, and there's just not too much about him on there. So definitely want to see some more with them. Obviously, Bryan Danielson took the win, and to be honest, he could have taken the L for them to further the storyline, but that's not the route that they went in, and that's okay too. So we do have a match with the CMLL wrestlers versus BCC. That's going to be on Dynamite, so I am looking forward to that. This was definitely match of the night, and probably one of the best matches I've seen so far this year. Go check it out. I'm not going to even get into details on this, because Hook versus the Outrunners doesn't make any sense just hearing it, and then seeing it didn't make any sense at all. So there's nothing really to see here. Hook has a match coming up with Brian Cage. I don't know exactly when. And they want us to believe that not only that he could beat Brian Cage, but he could beat anyone, before he gets in the ring with Brian. So they give him a 2-on-1 match, making us feel like, okay, he is more than ready to take on Brian Cage. No, the fuck he's not. I like Hook, and I think he's all right. I really do feel like when he's in the ring with other than people who are shrimps and people they're picking off the street to go against him, you see his flaws, and you see that he really needs to work on a lot of things. And if he wants to continue this little streak that he got going on, he's going to get past all the little shrimps on the roster, and he's going to be dealing with the big dogs, and then he's going to realize that he doesn't have a fight to give the big dogs. And for me, I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, this is a wasted opportunity to put Hook in the ring with 2 guys. And the Outrunners are really great, by the way. I love them. But this is just absolutely unnecessary. Obviously, Hook takes the win. After this, we do have Mark Briscoe and Tony Schiavone in the ring. Obviously, Mark Briscoe was upset about what happened, about him getting attacked by House of Black. And House of Black, they interrupts him. And they have, this little promo along with Julia Hart. Thank God, because I've been saying she needs to be in these promos too. And Mark Briscoe, he's not shaking in his boots or anything, but he's alone in the ring. Tony Schiavone clears it when the lights cut off, and he's thinking that he's going to get attacked, but nothing ends up happening. Now, Mark Briscoe was on the mic for a little bit before House of Black did come on the big screen, and the crowd was eating up everything that he was saying. Mark Briscoe is one of the people, when he get a mic in his hand, he get everybody all fired up and just feeling really good. And I love his presence in AEW. And I do feel like this is opening the door to him obviously being in the storyline with House of Black. But I do think that maybe for quite some time we're going to see him in trios action with FTR. And I don't mind seeing that at all. But AEW, that foolishness with Hook, it's just ridiculous. Up next, we have Serena Deeb versus Queen Aminata. She's so beautiful. It's obviously apparent what's going on here. Serena Deeb is going to take the win. And like I said, predictability does take away how you feel about a match when you already know what's going to happen before you watch it. However, they did a really great job. I think they had really great chemistry with each other. Queen Aminata is a freaking pro, and I enjoy her in the ring. Same goes for Serena Deeb. I'm really upset about her constantly taking the L's. Despite her taking the L's, though, she's looking good taking them at the same time. And with wrestling, that happens. And at some point, you're just like, all right, well, this is going to be over, right? If you really want to see Queen Aminata at her best, I do recommend watching Ring of Honor. You'll see her not only taking W's over there, but she looks great there as well. When she's able to shine a little bit more because she's going to take the win. Now, Serena Deeb does win, and I'm okay with it because I guess I understand what's happening here. We don't have anything going on with the TBS title. Obviously, we got Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm for the pay-per-view. So it looks like they're probably gearing Serena Deeb for going for one of the championships, whichever the situation is. But I'm not going to lie, the predictability is killing me here. Serena Deeb takes the win. After this, we do have ladies in action again. We have Red Velvet versus Britt Vixen. It wasn't a total squash, but I'm like, hold on. Britt Vixen deserves a little bit better than this, and I get it. She's not an AEW girl. They're not going to make her come out there and just be a fucking star that she is. But Red Velvet looked amazing. She's been looking even better on Ring of Honor. Like I said, once again, there's a trend of having these girls look better on Ring of Honor in comparison to AEW. So I was happy that that obviously Britt Vixen got this opportunity, but Red Velvet took the win, and that's exactly what I wanted. And let me just say, once again, I am actually really happy that they took the time to add in another women's match on to the show. I've been saying this for so long. You guys have added Collision. So you guys have, 5 hours of TV, not obviously including Ring of Honor. You have time to put in extra women's matches if you'll fucking give a damn. And you know what? I was happy that tonight they gave a damn. Main event time, we had FTR, Daniel Garcia, versus the Patriarchy, which is our stepdaddy Christian, Nick Wayne, and Killswitch, and Mama Wayne is ringside as well. Now, so what I'm seeing here is based off the ranking system. That's the reason why this matchup came about to begin with. Let me just say this: the ranking system ain't mean shit to me. And we haven't actually seen the Patriarchy doing shit since last year. So this is not based off of what's going on in 2024. Because if it was based off what's going on in 2024, I would assume that it's easy to say that House of Black would be number one after FTR. Number two after FTR. So none of this makes sense. The ranking thing, it already has shown its flaws. I'm not going to get into it. Now, the matchup was decent. There's no story. It's just trios versus trios. And let me just say, the star of this match for me was Mama Wayne. Mama Wayne, she got paid, the check cleared, and she's wearing her designers ringside. She got her hair all put up in a ponytail, and it's all done. Makeup is right. Everything is right. She's being a snobby bitch ringside. She is heckling the crowd. She is just going back and forth and giving those looks, and she's cheering on her son and everyone in the group. And I'm just like, whoa, where did this come from? She looks like the perfect valet. Not just look like it, but what she's doing is exactly what you expect from a valet to do. And I'm like, well, this is one of those things that probably was accidental, where it's just like, oh, Mom, can you be ringside and just stick with me in the storyline? And she just says yes, and she actually turns out to be fucking amazing at it. So I couldn't keep my eyes off of her. I was just like, she's doing exactly what you want a heel ballet to do. I absolutely enjoyed her ringside. Now, it's been a long time since we've seen Nick Wayne in the ring. He all taped up and everything. He got his tights playing homage to Shawn Michaels and all that. I guess he looks great, but I was disappointed that we didn't see too much of Killswitch in the ring. I feel like he's so talented. He got this look that I really, really like, and they're not giving him too much play in the ring. which is unfortunate. When Christian took over the whole TNT title while he was champion, it did feel a little unfortunate. However, it worked out for the best for the TNT title and for giving us probably the best version of Christian Cage that we've ever had, ever. However, now it's just like, all right, he needs to be in the ring. He needs to be with y'all as a group. He needs to be doing things in singles competition too, because I feel like he's going to get lost in the situation. So for me, this match could have been better. It was once again a 20 plus minute main event, which is what I absolutely love about Collision, because Dynamite would never. And while it was decent, it just wasn't enough for me to truly enjoy. Daniel Garcia takes the win, though, for his team by pinning Nick Wayne, which was interesting to see the two youngest guy in both team be in that situation. You would think that maybe this is leading to those two having a singles match. However, right when that happens, Christian has the most surprised / disgusted look on his face. It is absolutely hilarious how he was just staring at Daniel Garcia the whole entire time after his team lost. And I was so amused by this look. I was just like, holy shit, he looks pissed the fuck off and shocked at the same time. And after Christian stared him down for like what seemed like 5 minutes, and Daniel Garcia and even FTR was doing that little dance that Daniel does, and I was just like, hey, I would pay money to never see FTR do this again. Christian just seemed really upset and just could not just let that whole thing go. It looks like we're probably going to get more likely Christian versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT title. I can see my stepdaddy definitely retaining, but maybe that's the opportunity that Daniel Garcia needs to break away from FTR, because this is not going to happen for all of eternity. I don't see FTR and Daniel Garcia doing his trios things for a long time. I think we're going to have Mark Briscoe slide on into that picture while Daniel Garcia can finally break away and do things on his own. I think that it's finally time to let this little baby chick spread his wings. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll definitely be back with, AEW Dynamite. So I'll see you guys then on Wednesday. I will be doing a live watch along and then a review right after that. See ya.